Okay, I've got a van lock here. It's in a padlock. This logo's wearing off in the vise, but um, it's a pretty cool format. It's called a pump or a push. So these are the key pins right here. They all get pushed that way, just at different depths. Um, this is what the key looks like. You'll see these on like vending machines and stuff a lot. They're actually not too uncommon in the wild. So you can kind of see there the different heights, the little pins sticking out of the key. So this goes right on top, and when it's turned 90 degrees, the shackle releases. When I pick this, I won't turn it all the way. I'll just pick it part of the way there. It'll take me all day to pick it twice to get it to 90 degrees. And then to reset it, I have this marked key that I've filed the little nubs off of. So if you look, there's two notches on the top and the bottom of the lock. Line up with these two notches in the key. That means you can only release it when it's either unlocked or excuse me, you can only release it from the locked position. It says key retaining. But in order to reset the lock when it's partially picked, I need to remove the nubs. So I'm gonna pick it to here, then release it, and you'll see this bottom part where there is no pin. That's set like the 7 o'clock position instead of the 6 o'clock. Like that. So anyway, that's where we're headed. So I'll go ahead and start picking. I think the real challenge for this, the reason it's brown belt is basically just because of tensioning. The actual picking process is pretty simple, and there's no key way to navigate. No real security pins. They just kind of pick like tapers. So I made this. I'll give White all credit for this. This was his approach. I think he took like a tubular tensioning tool and modified it to work with this. I took a piece of shim stock that I was using to make picks and made this. I had prototyped something over here. I'm not going to use it today. Really, this is the bit that matters. And the distance of these teeth line up with two opposite pins on the lock. So the idea is to find two deep cuts and tension off of those. So in this case, I'll be tensioning off of these two. Transform that onto the lock. So it's top left, bottom right here. On this side, it'll be top right, bottom left. So I'm going to tension off of those two, and then really, pick it like tapers. So I'm just going to tap away, and then when I run out of feedback, I will move to, or I will increase tension, but I'll start with really light tension. And it's just going to take a while. It's going to be a pretty pick, I think. So settle in. This early feedback is really satisfying, but I found the patience is just not getting too excited, just tapping away, just knowing that it's going to be a while. So I really wanted to use this. I think this is a pin punch. I really wanted to use that through the whole pick because it's such a great tool, but can't pick under the tension tool with it. So, and switching tools just takes a while. So I'll probably do most of this actually with a flat hook. Some people will tension with circlip pliers. Those fit well. The problem with that is you have to move the tension tool, which is cumbersome. So I'm getting these little, like, as I bounce these key pins, get like a little bit of feedback, like a little bit of stickiness that I overcome. That's really what I'm chasing. So I keep going until I don't feel that anymore on any pins, and then I'll crank up the tension and just rinse and repeat. And my canary is this very top left pin. Probably should have called it out when looking at the key, but it's a very low cut. And right now it's practically sticking out of the face of the lock. As the pick progresses, it'll sink in more and more, and that'll give me an indication that I actually am progressing and I'm not just losing my mind and thinking I'm getting feedback where I'm not. I'm still getting a little bit on this top right, a little bit on the top left, but not much. So cranked up the tension a little bit, getting some on a few of these pins. Keep tapping them till that dries up. Watch. I first, I've been picking this on and off for a couple of years now. Had this lock for a while. I made this tension tool actually, I think, for my brown belt requirements, and watching other people pick it, I was always confused how they knew which pins to pick, but really, when I'm picking it here, the ones I'm poking are just the ones that give me feedback, and I'll just kind of back and forth between those until they stop giving me that tiny bit of feedback, and then I'll no real rhyme or reason. But eventually, I'll get to a point where I'm basically not getting any feedback, and then I'll crank up the. Continuing to get lots of feedback from this top right pin. A real deep cut, so it's got a long ways to go. The fact that I have to pick it so much is why that pin punch doesn't get a whole lot of use during this pick. Just about to crank up the tension, but a whole bunch of stuff started giving feedback. No need to over tension. I'm not feeling much, so I'm gonna crank up the tension. This left one was giving me some feedback. Looks like I've tapped it out. Increase the tension again. That canary pin, that top left pin is up flush with the lock face now, so it's receded a little bit. I'm hoping that means maybe I'm halfway. I have it oriented this way with that unused slot at the 6 o'clock position because it lets me see more pins and get to them over the top of the tension wrench. So I don't bump stuff. What happens a lot, especially when I was first learning to pick this lock. Well, I guess I'm still learning it. This is only, if I open it, this will only be the second time, but a common issue I've had with this is keeping that tension wrench in place. It's really easy for it to slip out, especially if you're bumping into it or moving stuff around a lot. So keeping 3 pins up here and only 2 down here has been helpful. Tension again. Use of feedback. Right hand's tired. Or excuse me, left hand, tensioning hand. I think in my notes for my brown belt submission on this tool, I made a comment about I just wished it was longer. That is my only feedback. I don't mind this angle, but another couple of inches would have made it a lot more comfortable to hold. That last pin I pressed, there we go. Cool, so you can see that is now rotated. So the pin that was at the 6 o'clock is over to like the 7 o'clock. The shackle won't open because I would have to pick it again, but you don't want to be here all day. So I will take this special key, the one I have marked, the one with the nubs filed off, and I'll reset this. But maybe I'll just show a close up. And just to show the key is inserting on the left here, and I'm just gonna, maybe I'll start that way. So it's in that position, and it should be unlocked now. Oh, no, I didn't insert it. There we go. That's that shackle. So that's set 90-degree position, and the fully reset position. I'll have to close the shackle, and then I can. Okay, that's where I started picking. Cool. Let me just show this tool a little bit again. Feel free to adapt it. Like I said, I think there's like a multi-pick tubular tension tool you can file down to get this to work. It really depends on your bitting too. If you don't have 2 deep cuts that are opposite each other, you may have to go do something like this, which I think you could get it to work. This is what I was originally trying to do, this tension like this, but it was really uncomfortable to hold. I think maybe if you did this, but with this style, where you're rotating that way, you might have better luck. Nothing to gut here. These are unguttable. So we'll keep this one short. Good luck.